Hello everyone, I'm Brandon with Lenovo and I'm here today with the ThinkStation E32 Tower Workstation. Today we are going to be replacing the front audio and USB assembly. This process will take about 15 minutes and it should be easy enough for anyone to do. The only tool required will be a Phillips screwdriver. Before we continue, we need to make sure that we are protected against electrostatic discharge or ESD. Make sure to shut down the computer and disconnect all cables and accessories from the system. For further information, watch our Understanding Electrostatic Discharge video by clicking the link in the description. And now that we're ready, let's get started. Before removing the computer cover, we must first remove 2 thumb screws. Then we're going to press the release button, slide the cover towards the rear of the system, and remove it. Next we're going to remove the front bezel, but first we have to disconnect the cable from the system board. Next we're going to press outward on the 3 clips to release them. Then we're going to swing the front bezel open like a door, pull the cable through the hole in the chassis, and remove the front bezel. Before removing the front audio and USB assembly, we must first disconnect the audio cable and the USB cable from the system board. Then we're going to disconnect the power cable. Now we're going to uninstall a single retaining screw, and angle the front audio USB assembly up and pull the assembly and the cables out through the hole in the chassis. Here we have our replacement front audio and USB assembly. So now we're going to thread the cables through the hole in the chassis, and I'm going to reach in on the other side and pull the cables through so that they don't get tangled. Once those are through, we want to make sure that this tab goes underneath the hole in the chassis. And then we're going to hold the audio USB assembly flush and install a single retaining screw. Then we're going to connect the power cable. Now we're going to connect the USB cable and the audio cable to the system board. Now we're going to feed the cable through the hole in the chassis. And we want to assure that the hinges on the bezel are aligned with the holes in the chassis. Once we have those lined up, we can close the front bezel like a door and apply pressure until the clips lock it into place. Now we're going to connect the cable to the system board. When replacing the cover, it is important that the tabs on the inside of the cover line up with the holes in the chassis. Then once you have those lined up, you just slide the cover towards the front of the system. Now we're going to replace 2 thumb screws.